Coming up on Be Kind, Let's Rewind.
Today we are talking about the top soundtracks from movies from the 90s by R. Kelly from Space Jam.
You know Michael Jackson watches this and he just cringes. God.
Why is it a surprise that I like an Eddie Murphy movie?
Boomerang just whoop. Didn't even think about it. Bittersweet Symphony from the movie Cruel Intentions.
It had some of the hottest freaking stars of that age in it. It was just an absolute rub fest.
But what if you could do it all over again? I would jerk off and live by myself. That woman is the bane of my existence. See?
I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston from The Bodyguard.
A super talent. I hope when her time comes, she doesn't pass away in some bullshit.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
Who told you to cover up?
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
Your grandmother's still alive?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for. Today we are talking about the top soundtracks from movies from the 90s. We actually narrowed this down to a top 10 using AI algorithm,
analyzing stocks, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, Wall Street Journal,
NASDAQ,
Psychobabble bullshit asshole.
Dow Jones, all those things.
It's up. I like it when it's down.
I don't think your wife likes when it's down. This one was weird, man. This is going to be a new format. We're going to try to start doing a little more music on the show. We'll just see how much of this we get away with before YouTube looks at us dead in the eye.
Yeah.
The
And says,
I bet that tastes good.
Just interrupt Shadwick with that stupid gorilla.
Right after I said you youngins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you kids might not even realize that back in the 80s and 90s, anytime there was a big blockbuster music, there was almost always a song that joined that soundtrack.
Yep.
And it was always some big name, and it was always some song, 90% of the time, a song that you needed to dress in your Pound Puppy Halloween costume to listen to.
Yeah, so just a disclaimer before we get in this. You're kind of pussies in the 90s, guys, when it came to soundtracks. So, buckle up.
It's pop music.
What we'll start doing is these are not necessarily our favorites, but these are the most popular. These are the ones that did the charts, album sales, all that shit. So
we're doing this for the people.
But we do have our alternates, man. So I want to go ahead and get into it with my first alternate, which is from one of Shadwick's favorite movies, Batman Forever. That's him. If you're listening on the audio, he just puked into a bucket when I said that. But before we get into that, because of the vomiting, we'll head over to our
Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
And Shadwick was wishing that my first movie pick would get out of the street, you fucking bum. Today I am a little under the weather, man. Got myself a little hot toddy action, some bullet bourbon, some tea, some honey, and damn, is it tasty. The only problem is I just have like 2 of them. I feel really good. Like I'm starting to, mend up, and then 6 later, I'm hungover the next day, of course, unless I take my Z-Biotics. That's right. ZBiotics.com/be kind. Help yourself and help us, man. 10% off. And we'll go ahead and start running the promo again. You get Z-Biotics with our code. You get a free shirt. So just hit us up. Had pretty good success with that before. So
Don't start the new year out like you ended the new year. Definitely Z-Biotics. I am drinking a little bit of I actually got it right here, as a matter of fact. The Beacon Let's Rewind podcast, not sponsored by Appleton Estate. I'm gonna drinking some 8-year finishing. I'm gonna finish that off because
Colson Larry Appleton.
I like the Larry Appleton.
Shadwick, man, what do you got? I saw you fishing around in the fridge right next to your puke bucket.
Yeah, well, you guys, I was already going to feel like trash, but you guys are making me really feel like trash. Some asshole came over to watch football and left these Bud Light tall boys in my fridge, so
you got baited.
Well, and he's not drinking them out of a glass. So,
no.
All right, man, let's go ahead and get over into the topic. So, Shadwick, to keep on the topic of, again, movies that make you puke. This one is from Batman Forever, man. One of your favorites.
God, just push me down the stairs like Die Hard.
So anyway, this is one of my alternates, and it's just, again, it's a grimy, grungy U2 song. I mean, say what you will about these movies, but they sure had the fucking marketing down. But that, man, this one, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I think I've covered this before when we were talking off air. I'm pretty sure I covered this in a couple bands that I've been in. Don't know why. It's one of those songs when I've covered it in a band, I'll listen to the song like I haven't listened to it forever, and I just remember the drums like lick for lick, and I'm like, I know I've played this live, I just don't know where. So let's go over to one of yours, Shadwick. Big Empty from The Crow.
Yep.
Stone Temple Pilots, man. What made you want to pick that? I guess you're a big Crow fan.
Yeah, I am a big fan of The Crow, but I was just looking over this list, and it is, man,
soft. It's soft.
It's soft and moist. It is,
dude, like a baby's shit.
No, that too.
Yeah.
No, but no, I've always been a big STP fan.
Same here.
And I can't. We've been talking about this episode for weeks, like trying to come up with alternates and
it's fucking hard to do, man.
and a good top 10 list, whatever. And I think we might have fudged this a little bit because a couple of the songs were just fucking god awful. But yeah, I had to beef it up a little bit with some STP.
A little bit, yeah.
I was actually going to go with Dead Souls, also from The Crow. Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, but
that song I found out was a cover.
Yeah, this is also hard too because
could have also gone with The Cure.
I mean, this one is when you start thinking about. We tried to think about songs that you think about the movie when you think about the songs, because a lot of times, these were already songs released on an album, then they just rehashed them for the movie. But most of these should be pretty well known for this.
The telltale sign is the music video.
Yeah,
was like clips from the movie.
Correct. So
I can definitely remember that big T-Bird.
Yeah,
driving through those nasty Detroit streets.
Yeah, man, that was a good one. Leaf, let's go over to yours. This one was from the movie Angus. It's actually, there's not even a video for it.
There's not, dude.
It's just wild. So I was able to find some kind of compilation. It's called JAR by Green Day.
So this track, I don't know if y'all have any Green Day fans. Obviously, like, I was in a punk rock band with Chris, and we were like big punk rock like heads and ska fans. And this was again, on a movie called Angus. Probably nobody remembers ever, but I think that's a perfect way for me to like mention that. I think a lot of these.
I remember Angus Sluts 9.
that may have been a different movie, but a lot of these that we're covering are like they can almost supersede the movies in a lot of ways, and I'm sorry to say that, but I believe, especially, I didn't realize that that last one, like Shadwick's pick with the Crow, I didn't realize that song was even on the Crow for a long time. I'd forgotten even since then. So I think like this track was actually one of my favorites, and it's actually was an unreleased track from the Dookie album, like Green Day's Dookie album. It didn't make it for
it
whatever
was
reason, because it is a banger, dude. But
and I think what's
remember,
important is this was the gap, right? This was the gap between Dookie and Insomniac, I think, when this came out. So we were starved for more Green Day because Dookie blew up, and then
we were
waiting on the next album.
Like 17 and just thirsty, dude.
Like,
Jeez, like 50.
I just can't wait. I can't wait to hear more music where guys are just speaking in vowels.
Yep. Yeah. Me too.
A-E-I-O-U.
Yep. There it is. Punk rock music in a nutshell. I'll go with my second and last alternate, which is from Young Guns 2. Good old Bon Jovi here with Blaze of Glory. And to be honest, it's just a fucking good song.
This is a good show. I just tape it sometimes.
I don't really care that much about like it being in the movie or whatever, but it's a good movie. But goddamn, that's a good song. We'll start when we start getting our top 10. I'll kind of nerd out a little bit music wise on some key changes and some drumming and shit like that. But this one is just
and some pauses.
Yeah, I figured that one out when I was drunk one night. But but yeah, man, this is just it's a good movie. It's a solid fucking. I think it's one of those Bon Jovi tracks too that was just not overplayed to death.
Yeah.
Kind of like, You Give Love a Bad Name and a lot of stuff all slippery when wet, where it's just you probably heard it 1,000 fucking times. This one kind of slid in where it was like I knew it, but I didn't know it, and so I think I kind of enjoy it more. We'll go to Shadwick's last one, which this one took me off guard, man. Little Boys to Men on a Bended Knee. Dude. Which I was, End of the Road, Boys to Men from Boomerang of all fucking movies.
Why is it a surprise that I like an Eddie Murphy movie?
Boomerang just didn't even think about it. And then when you said it, I was like, I mean, why? I like End of the Road, but
yeah. So End of the Road actually more than Boomerang, it reminds me of like our 8th grade dance.
Oh yeah,
that's when like Boys to Men was really hitting hard with everybody.
Oh, dude.
Did you guys go? Did you guys go to your 8th grade dance?
I went to Box Social.
I actually did.
Leaf had your diabetes already taking your legs at that time?
No, not yet. Currently, no. I was in the throes of diabetes, so I could still actually dance, but I was too much of a freaking loser and a nerd, so I basically hugged the wall and chilled with my boys.
Well, yeah, no, obviously. By going to the dance, I meant sitting on one side with all the guys,
staring at the girls.
Yeah,
solidarity, gentlemen. We were look at us, like married, middle aged. You can recover too. Don't worry about it.
It takes you to your 30s. It's not a big deal, but yeah, man. This Boys to Men was great. But what kind of? I know the Eddie Murphy movie, but what made this one stand out to you?
I think it was just popular. And I think Boomerang was probably something that I watched a little later on, actually, because
I may have seen that movie once. I don't remember shit about it.
There was also a really good song from PM Dawn called "I Die Without You."
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. Sending know any of those. Those songs came from Boomerang, dude. That's
the thing. The thing with this list is going to be, guys, got to get comments, man. Obviously, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But comments are going to be key on this because we want to keep doing music episodes. As long as we're still around after the massive copyright violations, I will do that.
We'll go off script for a minute. I just wanted to hit a couple other movies that really had a lot of good music. Like, look at Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
American Pie.
Yep, a lot of good ones there. That Blink song.
There's a bunk on that one. That was really good.
Varsity Blues too. You had like the Foo Fighters and
and then they played a lot of like older rock music too, though.
Yeah, man, dude, there's so many of these. Like, and there's that song Whipped Cream Bikini from Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
You mean you've never seen her in her whipped cream bikini?
Everybody, Lord knows I have.
Everybody all these actors and actresses trying to do their best Chadwick accent.
Yeah, I know they were. I was
like,
damn,
whipped cream bikini.
They're kind of fucking leaning into it, man. Leaf, I'll go ahead and have you in this one. I had the clip from the movie for this one, but it would I could not get it to fully download in time. But this one is going to be Bittersweet Symphony from the movie Cruel Intentions, which is an amazing movie and responsible for so many knuckle children.
So many. It had some of the hottest freaking stars of that age in it. It was just an absolute, just like rub fest.
But this goes to kind of what you were talking about, Shadwick, a little bit, and Leaf, where we were saying some of these songs supersede movies, where it's like when you said Bittersweet Symphony, I was like, and I've seen Cruel Intentions, but I was like,
yep,
what is that from? And you're like, shit, dude. You actually said, I forgot how big that fucking song got, but yeah, man, that was from Cruel Intentions. And then, you go watch the scene at the end of the movie and you're like,
dude,
like,
yeah, the scene at the end of the movie, it is blasting, dude. It's like, that's the punch. And I think that's what, for some reason, this song just hit, especially in that scene, that final scene of the movie. If you haven't seen Cruel Intentions, go watch it. It's a banger. But this song, I agree with Chris. It superseded the movie. I didn't watch Cruel Intentions till years later. I didn't watch it when it came out, but this song was on repeat on the radio. You couldn't turn the radio on anytime 24/7, and this song wasn't playing.
This is the Verve, right? Is that
the Verve? Yeah. Not to be confused
with Verve Pipe.
With Verve Pipe.
Yes.
2 different bands. It took me decades to figure that out.
Freshman?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Not the same band. Not the same band. Yeah. Go ahead, Shug.
I was just going to say, I think recently Cruel Intentions has come out. I don't know if it was a remake of a movie or if someone made a series of it.
Okay.
I've not watched it.
When I was looking for it, I did see some modern clips when I was like trying to look this up, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? That's that's not twin girl hotness.
That's not Sarah Michelle Gellar
and Reese Witherspoon, right?
Oh,
okay. So let's head over into starting our top 10 again. These are just going to be iconic songs from iconic movies. We're going to start off with number 10, and I'm going to open up the floodgates for the jokes. I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly from Space Jam.
You know, Michael Jackson watches this and he just cringes. He's like,
oh my God. This fucking song, though, I will say, like, knowing like just music. Let's talk about R. Kelly musically for a second.
Yeah, let's pause. Please pause.
Let's pause this.
Shadwick's got him loaded in the chamber. I can see his face.
He was really like, he was pretty innovative with music. Like, he came up with like incorporating sounds from different things, like a stream of liquid hitting something.
That's never been done before, but also incorporating, like the black church chorus in this, like getting the big sound, like the big orchestraical for I Believe I Can Fly. I think he wrote, I want to say it was Do You Remember the Time for Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So do you think the black church is really in support of
I mean, they were
all things that he's done
until he diddled. They were like all with him, dude. Like
they looked at him and they're like, "No, bro, we're Christians, not Catholics."
And he's like,
allegedly.
And he's like,
just
shit.
So this one was again from Space Jam. Actually there was another one from this album that I remember too. It was the Hit 'Em High, like Busta Rhymes and all those dudes. Like it was this. I had this soundtrack in my Dodge Daytona CD player, and I was fucking banging it, bro. Like I think I even took
banging it by yourself every Friday night,
dude. Dodge Stratus,
dude. My Dodge Stratus. I took a chick to see this, and I don't even think I hugged her. So there's Chris just really going in for the kill.
Just took it out though, all your rage all over. Like what was one of the other tracks? The I Found My Smile Again by D'Angelo on that track. just driving white knuckled with your Dodge Daytona.
Oh God! Speaking of white knuckle, it kind of leads me over to Finding Your Soulmate and shit stuck in my head this week.
Excuse me, I met my wife in kindergarten. We got married senior year, and she has been the queen of my world ever since.
But what if you could do it all over again?
I would jerk off and live by myself. That woman is the bane of my existence.
See? Excuse me. Can I get a cup of coffee? Black?
Can't you see we talking? White?
She's the bane of his I would have jerked off. a bar by myself.
The married men are laughing a little too hard. One might.
I don't even remember that clip.
It's Zach and Mary. I mean, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Zach and Mary. Yeah.
It was when he was giving him shit for. He was giving him shit for always doing stuff for Miri or whatever and not getting any or whatever. So
yeah.
All right, guys. So let's lead it over to number 9. It's gonna be good old Aerosmith, man. But this Armageddon theme, I don't want to miss a thing. Which I remember this being everywhere.
Yeah, like, dude.
This song was on MTV, on the radio, on like 4 radio stations. It hit like classic rock, pop rock, alternative rock.
This was kind of on the heels of their resurgence.
It is,
like
man.
They were big in like 70s and 80s.
Dude.
But then the album Big Ones came out.
Yeah.
In what, 93-ish maybe?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So they got fucking big, dude.
They're fucking big, dude.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that this was their only number 1 hit, despite all of the massive amount of songs.
It's just crazy to me that it was late 70s that they had Sweet Emotions that came out. But yeah, I think Leaf's right that this was their sole number 1. They were always in the top 10 in the charts and everything. Like,
but they never had a number 1 other than
they never got anything with like
they probably
like all those videos that had like Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler,
crazy and all that.
Dude,
yeah,
I'm loving an elevator. Like, come on, guys.
They may have gotten number 1 with Run DMC for Walk This Way. I think that one did end up charting number 1 or close to it, but that wasn't necessarily an Aerosmith song because it was Run DMC doing Walk This Way. But yeah, man,
correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think that is their only.
This one is just iconic. Movie's solid. Not one that I watch very often, but solid movie.
Ben Affleck from The Fashionable Male is in it.
Dude, he's the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Word, bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
Phantom's like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I watched Clerks 3 the other night. Why did somebody give me a fucking warning?
Yeah, only if I'd given you 1,000 fucking warnings. Even that night, I was like, it's gonna make you sad, and you were like, "Me sad, like no listen."
I'm not
unga bunga.
Like I'm not gonna be emotionally compromised. I'm on 45 minutes of sleep for the past 3 days,
and an ass load of gummies and Ambien. What could possibly go wrong?
This is not the place and time, but Chris, when the day comes when you tell your Ambien story, I'm literally going to just lose my shit because that is one of the most effed up stories.
Well, let's hear it because I'm new to this Ambien thing. I've taken it twice. First time, decent results, not great. Yeah. Second time, it was actually New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. I'd been drinking old fashions all night.
That's why
I took 200 milligram gummy, and I was like, man, I still can't fucking sleep. I guess I'll take this Ambien.
Shadwick doing a chemistry experiment on his body.
Yeah. I've said for years that my insides look like potted meat. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure, dude. I just want to say this might be Patreon content. So if you guys want to hear Chris's story, Shadwick's is already good enough.
Man, we may run a little short on this. So this probably is going to stay in. But here's the scoop. So, for those that don't know, Ambien is basically in the opioid family. It used to be they would hand it out like fucking candy. They'd give you like a 6-month supply. Now you got to go to the doctor to get like 3 of them. So I found out, and this again, no one play along. Don't play along at home. It's okay to booze of the week with this, but obviously we put a kibosh when it starts going to drugs. I'm not on drugs.
I'm just mucking around, Meredith. I've never taken drugs.
I'm just mucking around. I've never done drugs.
Yeah, I've never done drugs.
Drugs.
But so I took Ambien to help me
sleep.
I'll
do it too.
One night I figured out, hey man, if you drink like a couple of beers on this, like your brain is sober but your body's drunk. And I was like, that's kind of a cool feeling. And then so I would listen to music and write a blog on MySpace. This is how long ago this was. And then
wait, that was MySpace.
and then I was like, one night just woke up the next morning. I didn't feel good. So I like called in sick to work, and I was like, man, something's weird. Like I had a roommate, and my door was open in my room, and I was like, that's weird. And so I looked down at my phone, and I was like, fuck, man, I called our boy Brian at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Like that sucks. I don't remember that at all. And I sent him a text. I said, man, really sorry for calling you so late. And he's like, no, man, I told you to call me when you got home. And I was like, oh,
what?
So unbeknownst to me, after some beers and Ambien, I drove to our friend's house. Luckily, he was about a mile from my apartment, not too far away. Hung out with him for a few hours, talked to some girl I knew at work on the phone on his bed that I thought was in my room. Apparently chugged some Jack Daniels, put a bubble in the bottle, went back home, and then passed out. And I looked outside in the parking lot of the apartment complex, and I was parked across like 2 spaces in my tiny ass little car, like fucking Family Guy style. So when I say do not drink and do Ambien, that is what I mean by that story.
Yeah, but if you take it and don't fall asleep, you get really fucked up.
Fight it. Stay awake.
It's like that fucking scene. Oh shit, from Pulp Fiction, where he's just like, basically, he's like who just shoots the heroin.
Yeah,
he's just like Chris is like drinking beers and hanging out with his like friends, just like everything's
the
a
best
blur.
part. The best part is like Brian was like, "Dude, you seem fine to me."
You're like, your brain was just like
did you just keep,
autopilot.
Did you just keep having like acid flashbacks of the night before? You're listening to Mortal Kombat and like rolling balls.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, as he was telling me like what we were doing, it was like my brain was changing where I thought I was. Like it was
where
like,
you were.
Yeah. Oh no, you were here. You weren't here. You were in your bedroom.
Sandstorm.
The best part is too, like my roommate at the time, like I changed roommates, and so like my old room was the first door when you walked in. So apparently I opened his door and just stood there for about a minute, like brain processing that this was not my room anymore.
I got a better analogy. It wasn't like Pulp Fiction. It was like Beer Fest.
Yes, it was. It was Drunken Recall. It was. So again, guys, don't do drugs.
or it was like the tall English guy in the Hall Pass.
Yeah, dude, it was like the very end of the movie.
you just have to keep killing all the witnesses.
Oh, and I'm gonna have to flush my palate out with our number 8 song, which is "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" by Elton John. Because Lord knows I was feeling the love that night. This, of course, Lion King, man. We kind of dipped our toe in it when we did our James Earl Jones tribute.
Yeah, man.
This was a massive movie, but this song was another one that was back when. Do people still listen to radio? But I guess if they do, this song was on like 2 or 3 stations. Like you usually had your pop station, you had your rock station, and then you had whatever college station. Sometimes the song would hit all 3 or 4, and this was one of those that hit them all. So it was on all the time. So
there again, I think we were, 14 maybe when Lion King came out. I think we were freshmen, and I actually really enjoyed that movie. Didn't care too much for the song, but what I always thought was funny was in those Disney movies, which pumped out these songs, by the way.
Oh, their Disney soundtracks are fucking good.
Yeah, they're factories for hits.
But I always liked when the characters were singing before they would start singing
in their voice.
But it would be different lyrics.
Yeah,
I always liked their lyrics better.
It was in their voice too. Yeah,
this one was comedic though. It was like it was Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
And but he was mad because like Simba was going to go off with the girl line and leave them. He's like, I can see what's happening. They don't have a clue.
Nice. Yeah.
This is like a meerkat. What the hell was it?
Yeah, meerkat.
Oh, okay.
Job. Yeah.
Thank you.
A pep meerkat.
Yeah, man. He was like, God, what is she doing? And then he was like, have you seen her
Rockin' church. She's got 8 of them.
Oh no!
Each one pointing a different way. So the next one, the next one is this one is from Reality Bites, which is a movie I don't think I've ever seen. But the song is "Stay" by Lisa Loeb.
Why is she still so hot, dude?
Dude, even today, she's hotter now today than she is there.
I remember this vividly.
Boring.
You and I, Chadwick. You
call me
chill.
when she rolls over.
You step aside for just this one time.
No,
Chris and I had this conversation.
I'm completely kidding.
We used to watch this on VH1, Chris and I. I mean, I remember this. This is a vivid memory. Chris and I used to watch like random VH1 videos and we're just hanging out, right?
Yep.
Like, for those of you who don't know what VH1 is, oh, my life is a lie, dude. It was the alternative to MTV. It was just, except for pop-up. Except for pop-up video. Pop-up video was
softer than MTV before
it was
they both reality TV wild.
Yeah, it was the pussified MTV.
Pound puppies.
Yeah, the Pound Puppy MTV version. And so, like, this song would come on, and Chris and I, we would be, like, talking, shooting the shit just like we are right now. Nothing's changed. Yep. We'd be laughing, right? And it's like, then suddenly this song would come on, and we'd both just be like,
we're just really staring at the TV.
Dude. And I'd be like, dude, I would just, she's beautiful. We'd be like, just like instantaneously. It was something. She just had that thing. Like, I don't know if it was like the Daria.
She had like a reality show recently that it was like, basically Lisa Loeb finds love or something. Yeah. And I was like, how do you sign up for that one? Like, hey, you want to
was it because
that's not good looking and miserable in life? I know where you can find one.
You think it was because like the glasses made her look kind of dorky, so like you thought she was attainable maybe?
Yeah.
That is that was part of it, absolutely. But also
or she reminded you of some girl in your chemistry class that you always sounds a little too precise, doesn't it?
No, it would definitely. Chadwick. Maybe you're going down your own. No, it wasn't me from chemistry class because I failed chemistry because I was like, God, I'll never have a career in that shit. Fuck this. This one though, Reality Bites, man. That's one we got to cover. I haven't seen it. I mean, it's got Ben Stiller, Winona Ryder.
I've also never seen it. This is a Be Kind, Let's Rewind. Like first, none of us.
Yeah, this could be a good. This could be a good one. That since none of us have ever seen that movie to cover it, we'll have to put it on the list right behind Supermarket Sweep. This next one, now I can
let's put it ahead of that one.
Now I'm going to start to nerd out a little bit here, guys. So this is number 6 on this countdown. Is going to be the Men in Black song from the movie that I can't remember the name of it. Men in Black.
Men in Black.
This was everywhere too. And
I like the Salma Hayek song better.
The Slip and Slide from South Park. I don't know. Yeah. This one. Of course, there was a dance to this one and everything, and I was like, man, like Will Smith's just like cranking them out. And then fast forward probably about 10 years ago, I'm listening to the fucking 70s radio station, and I'll be goddamned if there's a band called the Shy Lights that has a song called "Forget Me Nots." That's the same fucking song. They took that and they changed that to Men in Black, and that's all this song is.
Man,
that's all it is. It's literally the same thing. And
somebody will smack him right in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a receipt coming. I do know that.
Here's a third level. So for those of you who are gamers, the video game online sensation Fortnite, actually, here's what's really crazy. They released it during one of their Alien seasons, and they actually retained the lyrics from the original, right?
Oh,
and I remember,
the Shy Light song.
Like, it was the same song, right?
Yeah,
it kind of took out a little bit of the Men in Black kind of funk, as because they added a few things, right? It's basically the same
obviously
song,
he did the lyrics or whatever, but that used to be like the rap trick back in the day, as we found out, like with Ice Cube. Today Was a Good Day is an Isley Brothers song. Like there's a lot of these, and to be fair, this happened in music forever, and it's still happening today. And before there were copyright laws, you used to just get fucked if you wrote a song and then somebody else was like, "Hey man, I like that. I'm Elvis Presley. Thanks."
You're like, I sold 12,000 copies. It's like, I sold 7 million, and it's your song. Thanks, little buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Does that mean I could go to Target and just sample a TV out the front door?
I mean, as long as they don't catch you and you don't fuck your shoulder up, that's the most important part. Don't be carrying no more TV, Shadwick.
We need you. You're the face of the business.
But yeah, this one it's a well-written musically, song, and the reason is because it's a Shy Light song from the funk of the 70s. So that's why it's a well-written song and has a good structure and everything. This next one we'll go to is from the same Batman movie that Shadwick loves ever so much. Is that Batman Forever? Kiss from a Rose.
The Batman Forever.
Oh. This one is one of those when you're younger too. You like this song a lot, but I was like super insecure, so I was like, I don't like that song.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
That's gay.
Yeah. I was right there with you, except for the fact that when I was in my Honda Civic alone, I was just like, yeah. I was doing both parts, dude.
You're sitting on your left one trying to hit that falsetto,
dude.
Yeah, dude. I was leaning over. I was like trying to, dude. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say about the Boys to Men too earlier. Is it made us all think we could sing, and still to this day, karaoke bars still are promoting that issue of bad people trying to sing.
Yeah.
But this soundtrack, for all the movie's faults, the soundtrack's pretty much a banger, and the marketing for that movie was pretty fucking outstanding for 1995.
I gotta say, Batman Forever was not as bad as Batman and Robin.
Right.
Which Batman and Robin also had that Smashing Pumpkins song.
Yep.
Was it The Beginning is the End is the Beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you, Shad. And that song is a banger too.
And there's two different versions of that song too. Both by Smashing Pumpkins, but they did it the faster original version in that Batman movie, and then a slow version for the Watchmen movie.
Oh, nice.
And the slow version is I don't know. It has like an ominous feel to it.
Sometimes when you do that,
really cool.
It's really cool. This song just musically and structurally is fucking outstanding. Just the way that the song builds, and we'll talk about this a little more as we start coming on the top four of this. But the first time I ever recorded.
Speaking of coming, who did he marry?
Seal?
Yeah, wasn't he married? He was married to like a.
Oh no, he's married to somebody super hot.
Like
Elle
McPherson.
He was
McPherson?
married to Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum.
Yeah, man.
2005 to 2014.
Turns out being a great singer has its privileges.
I just want to say this, man. During our time when this song came out, everyone loved this song. It was a and I was the lead singer in our punk band, so I was actually a choral student. Like I sang in high school and I was in chamber choir, obviously. In college, and I really admired Seal. Like I really
outstanding
did.
Vocalist. Yeah.
Yes, but he was actually lambasted for being one of the ugliest bitches on the planet. Unfortunately, because
he had some disease, right? Like that left those scars on his face. Because I know when we didn't have any couth when we were younger, nothing's changed. But we were just like, God, what did he do that his dad beat him up that bad?
It's like he didn't deserve
wasn't
that.
it?
Huh?
Was it syphilis?
I mean, he had a.
Think it was syphilis.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He had a gap tooth
That's
smile.
ignorant.
It just wasn't what you would consider a conventionally
especially for
attractive
pop,
man.
You know, like.
But you're right. Like everybody was like, "Man, that song is great." I hate that fucking dude for being with Heidi Klum. That ugly son of a bitch.
Yes, some people were.
When I first recorded studio, I remember we had a song. It was like we're just in an indie band. Not even like me and Lee's first band. I think I was like 16 or 17. But we had a song, and the guy would show me the sound bars, right? And so this one song, for whatever reason, because you just copy what you would hear when you're writing shit, you're influenced by whatever, it built to like kind of a crescendo at the end of the song, and it's a slow build. And that guy was like, that's how every song should be, which he was wrong on that. But it does usually make for a really good song for it to build through an entire 3 to 4 minutes.
So this one builds to that bridge part where he's like harmonizing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, dude, we actually covered this in the Matt Stevens project. I'll shout out Matt probably a few more times in this episode, but we played this for a New Year's show because we had to do like 3 hours. So we just threw a bunch of shit. Him and Gibbs was also in that band. they had these harmony pedals. So they, between them, could do the 4-part harmony of that breakdown live, and it sounded really fucking cool. We got a lot of talented friends. Thank God I'm a drummer. No one wants to play drums.
Dude, but it was though, and like I feel like
CTE from playing drums.
It's very true. Yeah.
Before we move on, I just want to say the breakdown on this song is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard, and I just want to say the arrangement of the music, the way, because you're right, you guys are right. Like there is a crescendo, and then when it like nearly reaches it, like it all like kind of falls apart, and then just like reduces to this like gorgeous, like
those harmonies,
those harmonies, and it's just a beautiful piece of music. If you're
it's like an echo harmony too, that's what I like about it. It's not done a lot in songs where there's an actual purposeful echo, not a sound effect echo. Like it's two voices echoing in harmony.
It's done. I believe it's done in every Taylor Swift and Post Malone song.
I thought his name was Moist Pallone. Did I get that wrong?
You might have gotten that one. You know, you need to thank Seal Moist Pallone.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
This next one will tie into
He's dead now.
He's fucking dead.
Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. Another song I've actually played live with cover band. This Dangerous Minds was a really good movie, actually. I do remember watching this even in my teenage Everything Sucks. Like I remember being like, okay, that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, teenage Everything Sucks except for Michelle Pfeiffer.
God damn. He's dead now.
I just want to say, like, this was one of the movies where white girl saves the ghetto before it was a trope. Like, it was an interesting concept, right?
It
like,
was.
Because like you came from, the idea isn't white girl saves the ghetto. The idea was you came from some place that like you don't understand, you don't know about, right? And then you transpose yourself over here, and it's as much about her as it is about the people that are around you, right? She's learning to sort of understand like where another race and culture came from.
I mean, I thought everybody knew that it was all about the pretty white girl and not the underprivileged kids in this inner city school.
You would think that would be obvious, Shadwick. I agree with you. Really.
Yeah, this as far as the song goes,
movies, for God's sake.
As far as the song goes, it's kind of like this dark, almost church organ type situation, you know, and it's got the choir behind them and everything, which these songs, a lot of if you wanted Chris to like your song in the 90s, just make sure Weird Al did a parody of it, and then that'll double check a box for you. But like I said, when we played this,
that is the real litmus test on if you have a banger of a song.
Yeah, if Weird Al covers it, you're like,
I saw this on our list, and I was wondering if you're going to mention that. I was like, "Are we going to talk about Weird Al and like
Amish Paradise?" Like Coolio didn't want him to do it because Weird Al, obviously, all of his stuff falls under the laws of parody, so he can do whatever he wants. But he would always reach out. I guess the song was already done, and Coolio was just not okay with it for whatever reason. He later on in life said that Coolio said, "Hey, I was a dick then. I shouldn't have done that, and whatever." But
did he say that after Coolio was dead?
He said it on a Ouija board in my basement.
He said it at his funeral.
He's dead now. But this one, whenever we would play this one live, this is one of the songs I hated playing live because we were a 5-piece band. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, the more members you have, the less money you get at the end of the night. So you try to keep it at 5 members, but there's like this whole orchestra thing. So Matt sampled the O's, you know, and the ahs from the chorus in the background. So when we were playing the chorus, I have to play on time to that. And so I always fucking hated that. Luckily I never really had a crash live. Like a crash would be like I got off time and it would just sound like fucking mush on something like that. But that was always my fear. I was like, God damn, if I get off at all on this, like it's gonna sound like a train wreck live, especially because that thing was clipped for the entire song. So if you get off at all, that whole song's off. You can't just stop it and start it because it will start over, right? So it's like you have to play through the whole thing like that, man. It was always a nightmare.
I hate to tell you what it sounds like when I get off.
That's personal.
No, I don't think I should answer that.
Yeah.
So these next 3, I think these are a little out of order.
I agree. This kind of went off of album sales and chart times or something. I don't know. I used AI. We all used AI, and all three of these ended up in the top 3 in every single one of them. But this was the most consistent order. Which number 3 is, which would be number 1 if I was like picking the list, is
should be
I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston from The Bodyguard. So when you start talking about
another excellent movie, by the way.
You start talking about iconic voices from the 80s and 90s. Whitney Houston has like arguably one of the best voices of all time. And the way that this song, again, this talked about earlier, the way this song builds. And if you really want to get Chris's dick hard in a song, throw in a key change on the last verse. Like, I don't know what it is, man, but when you're building and you're building on a song and you have a dropout and then you fucking kick up change the key and go up one, like, oh, dude, oh.
There you go, ladies. There you go, ladies. If you want to know how to get Chris erect, so all you got to do is
the chorus.
Key change in the middle of an orchestral piece of music, well-written piece, by the way.
No, all girls are going to talk to him real gently, like he's a deer. It's like, don't spook him.
Don't spook him. Yep.
He'll get him hard.
Those jeans look a little tight. He doesn't have the safety on, I can tell. but for real, though, this Bon Jovi, I think, was one of the first ones when shout out Gibbs, who helped me countless drunk nights understand what a key change is. Again, I played drums, and so like I would hear it, I would know like, why is this so powerful and big right now? Like, why? What changed? Because I'm like, tempo's still the same. Like everything's still the same. There's no extra chords or another guitar in the background. Why is this so fucking big? And then he was, showing me, oh yeah, man, that's a key change. And so they will go up usually a step, and then it just adds so much to it, especially when you come down off a dropout and go into it. But this one, Shadwick, I finally figured out the ending, right before it drops out and it comes back in. Me and Shadwick would be drunk. Actually, me, Shadwick, and Leaf have been drunk several times, listened to all these songs before this list was ever made, just so you know. Mm-hmm. We get our Pound Puppy pajamas on when we get drunk, and we just listen to music that makes us cry. So, but this...
Thunder Buddies for life.
Yep. So the song, it drops out, and actually what happens in the song, Shadwick, is the song winds down, and then it starts up. So it's not a pause, like a whatever. It's like the song ends, and then the drum hits, and then it comes back in. Because I would always count it off when I'm drunk, and I'm like, this is fucking off time. Like, I'm just like drunk yelling at an MP3
drunk
player.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you like getting your drumsticks out one night, and you're like, watch this. Like 1, 2, 3. It should have been right there.
Yeah. And Shadow's just like,
It's just like, for God's sakes, get some help.
Like, I wonder if Crystal's is still open.
I thought this was the bathroom. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Dude,
but,
like,
we good. Go ahead, Lee.
Vocal wise, I just want to say, I think this is one of my favorite pieces of music. It is simply because, and we haven't talked a lot about this, but the video. If you watch the video, and like also as a side note, before I continue, what happened to like the soundtrack songs and then the movie clips? Are we not doing that anymore? Or I'm just like out of the loop.
I'm so far out of the loop. I don't even know if movies have videos anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it happens anymore. There's just too much content now.
Yeah,
bro, that's so wild, man. Because like that was such an important part of these soundtrack movies. You would see like some clips of the movie, and like Guns N' Roses brought it up to the next level. I mean, we're gonna have to do the Terminator 2 episode. Obviously, we'll talk about that another time. But when it's zooming in like on her, and you see the way like she's singing and her jaw moving, like you instantly understand in your mind this is not some Milli Vanilli shit. This is like she is a absolute legendary talent, and this is like her in all of her, despite all of the controversy and things in her life, like her ability and her God-given talent shines through in the video. You can see it. You almost feel her voice.
Yeah,
when
like
she's singing.
And what I used to always love to do, and I do this. Well, we'll get to number 2 in just a second. But with these two artists, I love looking them up live. Yeah. And they have so many live performances, and that's when you really get down to like the fucking nitty gritty. You have a favorite band, you have a favorite artist or whatever, go look them up because it's there now. Now you can just look up live performance. I mean, hell, how many times have we all watched like Michael Jackson from Wembley or Queen from Wembley, like these old things from like the 80s or 70s, and they're so like you learn so much, man.
Queen, bet they got a lot of pussy.
I just want to say Chris is diabolical for saying that because he's about to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings, and I'm sorry in advance for that. When you go watch your favorite artist live, none of that, not like tracked, not like lip synced. I mean live performance.
And we are taking stock in the fact that none of our audience has a favorite artist of Taylor Swift.
We're taking stock there. Yeah. But just saying, like these people doing that, seeing her like on award shows and when she's singing this song, and it's not only that, like that's the thing that gets me. She's singing this song effortlessly. This is not like, I do like, what is it? Idina Menzel that sings Let It Go, like from Frozen, super talented, but I've seen several like live performances of that where she's like either having to take it down a step or she's struggling to hit those notes. Like Whitney is like in her sleep, brushing her teeth, doing her taxes, and hitting these notes like without any fucking problem.
Fresh off a Toonski, out there in front of everyone, just doing what God gave her the ability to do.
I mean, a super, super talent. I hope when her time comes, she doesn't pass away in some bullshit.
Me too, which leads us over to.
Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, you should do your research before the show, Chadwick.
This is in the syllabus, Chadwick.
I have egg on my face.
So this next one is another artist from Titanic. My Heart Will Go On, Celine Dion. That note right there.
That's my favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah, me too. And that's the key change that I talked about in the other one. These two songs are very similar as far as like the build but again, watching
they're as different as black and white, dude.
they are quite literally, yes. But this one she's actually one of the ones I think she's gonna do. She's had some health issues lately, Celine Dion has, but I think she's gonna do a residency again in Vegas. I keep reading about it. I'm fucking going this time. Fuck it. Like I need to go see her play live because she's still got it. She's still got the pipes, and it's fucking insane.
That's what I'm gonna do. Shit.
That's what I'm gonna do. Shit. But again, this is one person I can go watch countless hours of Celine Dion doing this shit live because she's again just so effortless. Just doesn't. She doesn't have to try, and it's just you can feel it through your TV screen, like Leaf talked about when she's singing.
And I know our list is from the 90s, but she also has that song from Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Ashes.
Yeah.
And to me, I like that song a lot more than My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah. I think like I feel like My Heart Will Go On has a lot of unnecessary I don't care until it hits that key change or whatever. But but that's what makes that key change happen. And also Titanic is it's a movie that's near and dear to your heart, I believe, Chadwick.
It's near and dear to my something.
I believe in previous episodes. I don't even know if we've deleted them yet, but there's some episodes earlier where Chadwick helped some people work out their strengthen their forearms and stuff in theaters. So
is it? I've always wondered this. Is it actually considered a hand job if it's not to completion?
So this is one of the movies that I feel like
a question. Yeah. Why are you just skipping over that?
We're moving on, dude.
Okay.
Like, so this is one of the times when I
feel like a 50s housewife. My dreams don't matter.
Your dreams don't matter.
This is one of the movies and song combinations that I agree with Chris and Chadwick that I feel like the song benefited from the movie, right? Like, it's like they're not really separable in this situation, right? A lot of stuff we've covered has been music that wasn't necessarily you didn't necessarily know that it was in a movie, right? Like you just
like you people have heard I Will Always Love You and may not know that was from The Bodyguard.
Yes,
but
people have had "My Heart Will Go On" in their weddings, and you can't tell me that like
it's always Titanic.
Titanic wasn't a part of it because you're thinking about the love between Jack and what's French whore's name? What was
I'm
it?
just saying, if you start a job and you don't finish it, is it a job?
What would that be? Would that just be like? Is that just a hand? Like, did they take leave in the middle? Did they go home sick?
Sometimes
they left for the day.
They went home sick. Sometimes they went home sick.
Shadwick's like, let's say you owe Bookie a lot of money.
Let's just do an incomplete then. You got a hand incomplete.
Yeah, that's what you got an eye.
Yeah, you got an eye for incomplete. So we'll take it over to our
settled.
We'll take it over to number one, which now I can no longer think about this movie without Chadwick and his favorite quote from this movie now. From Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Everything I Do by Bryan Adams.
Who told you to cover up?
Who told you to cover up?
That's just seared in my brain now anytime I see anything with like Prince of Thieves.
There's also, so if you guys haven't seen this, it's still my favorite Robin Hood movie. It got a little flack when it came out because Kevin Costner is Robin of Locksley, and he gave no fucking effort to have an English accent.
Yeah,
which why should you? But
what about Costner hitting 1 and 3 on this list, man?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
Kevin Costner was.
But he there's also one other line in that movie that it has to be one of the worst delivered lines. It's when they first get back to England and the sheriff's men they're chasing that little kid, and he goes up into the tree, and then Robin like whips everybody's ass, and they all run off.
Whoop
and he goes over,
whoop his ass.
He goes over to the boy, and he just says,
"Have no fear. Come down, boy."
That was the 16th take of the day. Like,
and the director's like, dude, he's literally like funding the movie, he's starring in it. Like,
we gotta just if he says cut, that's cut. But this song by Bryan Adams was also pretty huge in the 80s, right? And this was like, I believe, what did this come out in 91, 92?
1991.
So this one was this was kind of at the end of it, I think, for Bryan. Before didn't we get the. What was the All for One? The one from Three Musketeers with him, Sting, and whatever. Like, but this was kind of winding down for Bryan. But this song is the best song ever written. Not really, but this song is a solid song. It really is. Now the version I listened to today is 6 minutes and 30 fucking seconds, and there's no goddamn need for that. Because it sounded like it was a jam band halfway through it, and they dropped out, and they were like, fuck, you want to run over the third chorus and verse again? Like, sure. And like just kept going.
Like Bryan Adams had some decent songs, but I never could really get behind him. He had that one song that kind of like sensationalized the Manson family. Summer of '69.
Is that what that song's about?
Is that what it's about?
Did you not know that?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, I also missed that one too.
Crack a book every now and then.
Yeah, the whole time I was just like, it's 69.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan Adams had a really, really unique voice, and I feel like that's why a lot of people unlike a lot of these songs. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you're not seeing Seal's "Kiss from Rosamund Grave." Like this man, like you're not seeing Celine Dion. You're not seeing "My Heart Will Go On," right? Like this is a song you can kind of belt out and be like, and then drunkenly halfway be like, "Man, I hit that, right?
Yeah.
Like I hit that. Like we were in it, right?"
So much so that on Family Guy they had a parody of this where Stewie's singing it.
Look into your heart, you will find.
And it's like it's like the entire fucking song he parodies, and he films this video for Bryan to watch. Like I'll put a clip of it in here, but it makes no sense. But Seth MacFarlane actually does a pretty solid version of Stewie doing Bryan Adams, like in that voice. It's kind of it's pretty good. Like it's fucking good, dude.
It's raspy.
Yeah,
it's soft, dude. The soft rock music stations in the 90s were in business, dude. Like Disney, everyone kept them just going because they were just like
there was something to be said too about the artist. We we tend, I mean, like we all dabble in music a little bit. So like we tend to kind of be more impressed by the big, like, you know, you're talking Boys to Men, you know, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. Like there's a lot of Seal. There's a lot of big vocals in this group.
I wish Kelly Clarkson had come along a little earlier.
Dude, she's another one though. I mean, like just so talented.
Insane talent.
She might have the best voice of them all. Because she can sing any one of these and probably make it better.
Well, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Maybe that's a bold. Ariana Grande is also another one that's got a tremendous voice.
Yeah,
dude.
if she doesn't waste away.
Yeah, yeah. Hollywood, stop.
Please stop doing.
But yeah,
please.
To what Leaf was saying, I do know that some of these soft rock songs that are in everybody's range, there's a art to that.
Flaccid.
A melody line that's, you know, between this and this, and everybody can hit those notes, and you know, it's catchy. It's Mambo number 5.
Yeah. Obviously, these are obviously
a little bit of Monica.
These are a step above of you know any example that I could possibly give. But Chris is absolutely right. A lot of the songs, as soft as they were not only were they catchy, not only were they like musically well written, but they were like easy to sing. Like, and you could catch yourself humming. You know, like the song from Bryan Adams. And if you couldn't imagine like not being able to like sing "My Heart Will Go On," you could still hum the tune.
Right.
Like it was just something about these songs that sort of came together and coalesced, and people loved them, and a lot of times they loved them more than the movie. I mean,
just everybody in their car trying to belt out some of these notes.
Yeah, dude.
Just hum it like one of your French girls.
Who told you to cover up?
Have no fear, come down, boy.
So all right, we'll go ahead and wind down. Just to recap, our top 10 list: 10, R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly; 9, Don't Want to Miss a Thing;
on you.
Aerosmith; 8, Can You Feel the Love Tonight; Elton John; 7, Lisa Loeb, Stay; 6, Will Smith, Men in Black; 5, Seal, Kiss from a Rose; 4, Gangster's Paradise by Coolio; 3, I Will Always Love You by Whitney; 2, My Heart Will Go On by Celine; and then number 1 is going to be Bryan Adams, Everything I Do for You. Again, use a lot of algorithms, AI, NASDAQ, Dow Jones to get this list. That's why we had our alternates early on, because if we may just do a Be Kind, Let's Rewind list on stuff eventually, but there's so many. When we said 90s, I was like, God damn, that's a lot. So
there's so many extras in the pipe, it's disgusting.
So I'm gonna wind this one down with this question, just because I think that we all probably think like 2 and 3, in our opinions, would be 1. Most of, you know, Whitney or Celine probably gonna be 1 in our books or whatever. But who has the better voice, Celine Dion or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
I'm gonna go with Whitney Houston as well, but it's so
really
fucking close.
That actually shocked me. I thought you were gonna go with Celine Dion, Chris. Like I did, and I'm gonna be honest. Like potentially, like Celine Dion has more power, more range, but like there is and this goes to like the soul, like that you'll always hear people talk about, right? Like in music, Whitney Houston has like something extra, and I'm not sure that it can be quantified in words or emotions or thoughts, or it's transcendent. Like it's almost
they both
unexplainable.
They both are. When you look at them, you don't think those booming voices are going to come out of those like small frames. Really,
yeah. It has nothing to do with talent. So if people are mad about like our unanimous decision, like we all of us didn't know what the other was going to say before Chris asked the question. Like it was alive.
I think Celine just. It's not nasally. It's but when she gets high, it's just I don't know. It doesn't have
deep. She gets deep in her chest sometimes when she gets high too. Like there's the I can't really explain it, but it's
she has to knock it loose sometimes. You know?
But this was fun.
It's a baker's dozen.
Oh, okay, Bob. This one was pretty fun. Again, we're starting to try 2025, man. We're trying some new stuff. We have the video game playthrough, all that shit. So
if you like it, please
let us know. Let us know another like it. You want us to just cover 1 year? You want us to cover a genre from a year, whatever, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We'll do whatever. So, guys, with that, I'll go ahead and lead us over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
And now a correction to a story we ran last week. Prince Charles is actually the one in the middle. So we apologize for that.
She said